Hello everybody, I'm Celesta Matthews and today we are going to see how to capture packets using Wireshark. So the first and foremost thing you have to do is you have to install the Wireshark and then open it, click on Wi-Fi, and then you just open some browser and type in some random website name or something and click on this blue button. It will start capturing. After that, in order to stop it, you just have to click on stop capturing packets. Okay, so I have already captured some packets for you over here. So what we have to do is, okay, first we'll have a look at the questions. Examine the frame for the first DNS packet sent by the client. Identify the MAC and IP address of the client. So we'll open Wireshark. We come over here. Okay, you just type in DNS over here and say enter. Now the first packet which is shown is your first DNS query. Click on that. Here you go to your frame and then in the interface ID you have your MAC address over here, which is this. After that, in order to get the IP address, you go to Internet Protocol and over here you have your source and your destination protocol, destination IP address. Now we'll see the next question. What is the content of the type field in the Ethernet frame? So you go to your Wireshark, open it again. Here you have your type field in your Ethernet content. Here type, you have IPv4 and then you have 0x0800. That is your type field. So it's quite simple. The next thing is examine the IP header for the first DNS packet sent by the client. In the IP header for the first DNS packet, what is the header length and what is the total packet length? So you can just open this, go to IP. Over here you have the total length, that is 62, this one, and then you have the header length, which is always 20. Next question, identify the protocol type and what is the number and type of protocol in the payload. Okay. So over here you have UDP and in the bracket you have 17, which is the number. Next question is, okay, I guess all these questions are quite easy. You have to find out the destination and source port numbers as well. So you can just go to UDP. You have the port numbers over here. Here, source port number, destination port number, the length is 42. And in the domain name server, you have that, okay, you can see over here in the flags that it is a query. Okay, if it is a response, you will have over here that it is a response. Now, next thing is that you have your transaction ID over here. And then if you go on to queries, you will have your type and the class of queries. Okay, so we'll just brush up through the questions once again. Here, now examine the DNS query message in the DNS packet sent by the client. What field indicates whether the message is a query or a response? We did it already. The body of the query, we saw it right now, the transaction ID and the class and the type of the type and class of query. That also we saw. Next thing is consider the packet that queries the DNS response. Now you can see over here that you have the DNS response. Again, you need the Ethernet IP address and your size of the packets. Okay, I can close this. Here I have your response over here. That is standard query response. Just open that. Okay. In that you need to find the IP address, right? So you go over here, you have the IP address over here in IP, that is the source and the destination. You have the MAC address in frame. Here is your MAC address. So that question is done. Now you have the length, packet length and UDP datagram length. So just open this. Go to UDP and you have the length over here. Okay. Next question, what does it say? Okay, the three-way handshake. Now the main thing is how to identify a three-way handshake. Three-way handshakes are always done in TCP. So you just filter TCP, and then you can see over here that you have a sync, then you have sync and acknowledgement, and after that you have acknowledgement. So this is the first request, this is your response along with the acknowledgement, and this is your acknowledgement. So this is what you call your three-way handshake, the first, second and third lines. Okay, so the first question is the first message that is sent. Now in that they're asking you the Ethernet and IP address. Ethernet address, in the sense you have to give your MAC address. Okay. Now the length of TCP, which can be found over here, I'll show you right here. The length is 62, which is given over here. Okay. Next over here, along with that, you have the sequence number, you have the window size, and you have the MSS, that is the maximum segment size. You have questions related to this as well. Here you have the initial sequence number, initial window size, and maximum segment size. Okay, the next thing is your sync bit, sync flag bit. Open this, go to your last thing, that is your ICMP. Sorry, go to your TCP. Over here you have your flags, just expand that, and then you will have sync over here. In sync you just have 1 over here. Okay, so 1 in the sense the sync bit is set. Next question. Okay, this is done. Next you have your HTTP. For HTTP, simply in the filter type HTTP, and you will get whatever data is present. After that, in order to capture the ping protocol, you just have to open your command prompt, type ping and give IP address of your neighbor or any particular website you can give. Okay, and after that what happens is you will get the ping responses. So that will be recorded by your Wireshark. So in the same way as we did the earlier things, you will have to take the time, source and the destination IP address, time to live, and the protocol that is being used. Similarly, you will have for traceroute over here. I'll show you for traceroute. Okay, here in the traceroute, what do we see? We check for ICMP. The first thing is your echo request. In your echo request, you just click that. Okay, the questions. Determine the destination address in the IP packet that carries the first ICMP echo request. Compare the address returned by the DNS response message. What are the protocol and the protocol type and the time to live in the IP packet? So you just have to open this here. Okay, I have my source and the destination IP addresses. I have the time to live over here. I have the protocol, which is ICMP, and the number is 1 given over here. Okay, next is examine the ICMP message. What is the ICMP message type, and what are the message identifiers and sequence numbers? Sequence numbers, again, you can get over here. This is your sequence number. This is your time to live over here. Okay, next is your ID is also provided over here as well. Next part, what the question is, how many data bytes are carried in the request message? I'll show you that as well. Okay, you go to the bottom, down you have data, that is your 64 bytes. That is your answer to this particular question. Okay, after that you have to get the IP address, that is the source address and the destination address. Next what you have is your list. The next question is list the sequence of the source IP address in the packet that carry the ICMP time exceeded messages. So you just need to list them. That is these ones which are marked in black. They are the time exceeded messages. So you have the time, you have the source, and you have the destination over here. So it's quite easy. Hope you understood it. Thank you.